You're listening to Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marci Persky. In this installment, we pay a little visit to the Rat discotheque. Also, a few new uses for those relaxing desk fountains. And Marci swipes a little kid's pony. I can't even walk by the spousal unit's office door because he's working on the taxes now.
Ugh, we did ours already.
Well, he did them, but there's some little odds and ends. So I walk by there and I say two words and he just makes that hand sign that's not quite your middle finger, but the polite version of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm sending in with my taxes.
The flying middle finger.
We're paying a lot.
But you did get Marci Persky Road, so.
I do have Marci Persky Road, and they made me pay an extra $1,200.
What?
Did I tell you this?
No.
Okay, so this used to be free.
Yes.
I paid my $501 for the application. It took them, it seems like, a gazillion months to finally give me the lease for 10 years.
Of the 10 foot of road that you need to get from the main road to your street.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's literally like this little chunk of road. And I had to swear on a Bible that there's no Indian burial grounds or dinosaur eggs or
under
whatever.
the road.
In this little chunk of road. So they called me to tell me that it was approved. And he said, now we need a check for $1,200 within 10 days.
What? Or
you lose everything. I said, what? And he, yeah, exactly. I said, what? He said, yes, it's $1,200. And I said, well, can I make payments? And he said, sure. But if you make payments, it's $6,000.
No.
And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. And then he went into this 15-minute long jumblies of government talk about why $1,200 turns into $6,000. So we are going to pay the $1,200.
Right.
But yes, it was $1,200. A new rule.
Yeah, that's a new rule.
It didn't exist when they started.
Oh.
And I told him, I said, back when I first applied, there wasn't this fee. And he said, it's changed since then. And I said, well, I think I should be grandfathered. But he didn't. These guys don't have a lot of senses of humor.
No, they really don't, do they?
No, they really don't.
Yeah. Well,
but I have to tell you, the road's in pretty rough shape. You don't want to go over 3 miles an hour.
You should take this up with the owner. The owner is not maintaining Marci Persky, whose road this is.
The owner doesn't have any money because she had to pay $1,200.
You better be careful.
On top of $501.
You be careful. If a rock flies off the road and dings somebody's windshield, they're going to know exactly whom to call.
Guess what? I'm putting a toll booth up. If you want to cross my 150 feet of road, you're going to pay the toll until I have $1,200. So there, you one neighbor down the street.
Yeah, but you could just leave them a little note going, this is mine, not yours. You guys. Yeah, you could do that. And some more pictures of rattlesnakes, as seems to be the fashion on your street.
Or you could just put up a street sign too.
And sometimes with neighbors, when it's not clear who's responsible for what, you get into this little war of, well, I'll just let that fall down, see if they care. Have you had that happen yet?
No, because no one speaks to each other out here.
Oh.
There's really, it's neighbors are not neighborly, but neighbors are 2 miles away.
Our house in Oakland, where we lived, was at the almost bottom of a hill. And the people just a little up the hill had a retaining wall that was sort of leaning. And it's been like that since, I think, for 40 years or more. And nobody's willing to fix it because nobody wants to admit that it's theirs. And nobody wants to even pay to have the work done that would prove that it's somebody else's. So it just leans a little more. And sooner or later, it'll probably fall right through our house. And then I'll feel stupid. But in the meantime, I feel smart because I haven't had to pay to dig out the whole hillside and put in a new wall. So far, I'm ahead. And if at the rate it's going, it doesn't hit the house, then it'll be my kid's problem. So And then
Yeah, there you go.
on the other side of that, yeah, I'm starting to get to the age where I'm thinking, well, that'll be the kids' problem, which I never thought, 20 years ago, I never thought, well, that'll be the kids' problem. Now, everything that I don't want to deal with, I just think, well, that'll be the kids' problem. There's a driveway between our house and the house on the other side, and there's an easement, but I don't know enough about the law to see who actually owns the driveway. So the driveway now is starting to look like Marci Persky Road.
Careful, it might be state land trust.
Big chunks of concrete have come out of it. Snakes live in the divots. A bougainvillea crawls across it, and nobody's willing to go, we really need to get this repaved.
Well, we've discussed putting cinders down to even out the road because everything up here is cinders because we're built on top of a volcano. But that's how every single windshield in my driveway got cracked. And Eve has a cracked windshield.
Well,
And
that's the
Frankie-
least of her troubles with that thing.
She just had it worked on again because little critters got underneath it
Again?
and ate wires. And that's in spite of the warning system that we implanted underneath all our
that's
vehicles.
right. You invested in
That
a
whole disco thing.
the rat,
It's flashing lights and Sonic.
the rodent discotheque, right? The
And
rat
so-
scarer. You invested like
Yeah.
$200 in a rat scarer.
3 of them. But now she leaves her hood up to make it not as inviting because they're looking for a warm, dry place, I guess.
Wait, I've got an idea. If
What?
they want a dry place, then remember those horrible little desk waterfalls that everybody had for a while that just made it
Stick
sound
under the car.
like you had a whole office full of toilets that were overflowing is what
Yeah.
those were like. I hated those. I hate the sound of running water. I don't like anybody's fountain. All I think about when someone has like a little fountain going is, oh my gosh, the bathtub's overflowing. I wonder what it's going to start dripping through the ceiling. I better call the plumber. That is not
What
relaxing.
it reminds me of,
What?
remember after you have a kid and like all of your insides are messed up
Yeah.
as well as your outsides
Yes.
and you really can't pee
Yes.
and the nurse says, well, turn on the water and that will help you. The sound will help you. That's what I think about. I think about labor. pain
See, no
for
way
kids and
are these
turning
little.
on the water.
I don't know in what planet the sound of a little
Makes me
trickle
have
of water is relaxing. I don't
Makes
know.
me have to pee.
Yeah, I don't know who finds that therapeutic, but it sure as heck ain't me. So, but if the rats are looking for a nice dry place and you work in that thrift store, people have got to be getting rid of those desk fountains by the dozen. And you could just get one of those and you set it up. They run on batteries, half of them, and you set it up near the engine and they'll think, oh, not a warm, dry place with a leak, not sleeping here. That's what you need to do.
But then all the mice that drown over in the goat bucket will be drawn over to her truck.
No.
Because they'll think it's a fountain. It's a drinking fountain.
Does the goat bucket have a fountain or it's just water?
It's just water.
Right.
And someone told me last week to put a stick in it so that the mice can run out and then they won't drown.
Good idea.
And I'm like, don't. Why didn't I think of that?
Good idea. Little
Because
exit ramp.
I hate dead mice more than live ones.
You could get that. You could get that. You could get that thing that I suggested you get for your frogs. You could get a little floating raft.
Yeah, a little raft for the mice
that hooks over the side of the goat thing, and then they have a way out. Yeah, that's what you do.
A little tiny flamingo raft.
With a ukulele soundtrack.
I actually have a ukulele sitting right next to me.
Okay, well,
literally.
Just record yourself playing the ukulele, pipe that into the goat shed. No more dead mice.
Oh yeah, speaking of mice, so
yes.
we have a new cat. I knew this would thrill you, but actually, this is a humanitarian gesture.
Aren't they all?
Yeah, but this one is special.
Of course, isn't that what you said for the last 5 or 6 of them?
He was the result. There was a car accident and some family members were killed.
Aww.
And it was a very stressful situation in the house. And so the cat was very stressed and got sick. And the lady who owns the cat didn't want to get rid of him because she loves him. But at the same time, she has to deal with like sad stuff and chaos. So she wanted to surrender him to us. And I said, how about if we just become his permanent fosters? And he's your cat, but he can live here for as long as you want him to. And when your life settles down and you change your mind, you can come pick him up.
Aw.
And this poor cat was the only cat in the house.
Oh, dear.
And now he's got Pancakes, Derp, 3 dogs, and he's never been around dogs. The goats literally like have him just glued to the cat tree. The goats, they stand there on the deck, and I don't think he's ever seen a goat. So yes, this poor little cat, it's only his 2nd day here, but he at least has stopped hissing at me and Eve and Frankie. But he's not real thrilled with he hasn't noticed the frogs yet or the fish.
Maybe you could just put him in a quiet room for a while. Maybe the visiting cat could be in the guest bedroom for a while, where I stayed, which was lovely.
It is lovely. That's why he's not staying in there.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that you have done a good deed, and as you know, I believe that no good deed goes unpunished. So,
which is why he will not go in the guest room.
Well, I'm thinking bigger than that. I'm thinking, I hope you have space in your heart, because I somehow believe that once this woman's life settles down again, she's going to really like the idea. I mean, think about this. All those parents who told their kids the big fat lie that, Oscar the dog or Smittens the kitten has gone to a farm where he or she can have more room. You actually are that proverbial farm. And who's ever going to pick up the dog or the cat or the rabbit or the gerbil from that wonderful farm that all parents wish there really was?
You know what? My friend at the Humane Society informed me yesterday.
Yes.
That they have goats and horses.
No. Just no.
At the Humane Society.
No.
Just one horse?
Don't make
Please,
me.
Mom.
No. Well, a friend of mine said to me once, if you want a dog, ask for a pony.
Let's see. I will ask my husband for a Lamborghini.
There you go.
And when he says no, you already drive your Juke like a rally car, I'm going to say, how about a horse?
If you think I think you're underestimating your husband there. I believe that he can say no to you.
Oh, he does, believe me.
I believe he can.
Believe me. And sometimes it works.
I'm sure here's my best defense. There is some little boy or girl who has wanted that horse and is going to walk into the Humane Society and say, Mom, Dad, please. And the eyes will light up, and the mother or the father will look at the kid, and there will go the horse to happy pastures. And if you want to ruin that, Marci, if you want to
watch too many Shirley Temple movies,
want to ruin that moment, if you want to whiz all over that precious encounter, that love between a child and a horse, then you go scoop in there and swipe that horse and feel good about yourself. That's what I have to say about that.
I'm laughing because you said whiz.
Thanks for listening to Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. If you'd like to do us a great favor, please leave us a good review wherever you hear this podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Turi Ryder's She Said What. And you might also enjoy my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air, which you can find any place you buy your books or on Amazon.